Thanks for staying with us. You're watching Daybreak. The hashtag on X is Citizen Daybreak. Ruth Bolo is the Technical Working Group member, Manifesto Yetu Consortium. Jared Mugendi, an advocate of the High Court. David Msongori, the President, SCSP, Kenyan Jumuiya ya Vijana ya Pwani. Ongwaya Castro, Comrades President, Safina Party. Bilha Joy is founder of the Rising Widows. And now we are joined by Valentine Anyango, who is a youth advocate. Valentine, good morning.
Thank you very much.
So let me start with you. Yes, please. Go ahead.
Thank you for having me again. My name is Valentine Anyango, and I am a founder of the Agal Toto Foundation. This is an initiative grassroots group that is usually
you can hold your
committed,
mic steady position here.
All right. Yeah. Committed to empowering young children and women. Yeah. Okay.
We are talking about the degree of delivery of some of the promises made by the head of state, and generally the scorecard of the government. Yesterday, the Catholic bishops pointed out issues that they say need a lot of the government's attention, while pointing out some areas they said the government has done better. In your view, what's your thinking?
I really think that the president is really trying to do a lot of work, and I think that the government has delivered. And I am like a true show of that. Number one, I believe that leadership doesn't have to be about titles. It has to be about action and service to the people. And from my own view, I think that the president has done a lot of good work. The president is empowering a lot of young people, and I am a Luo, and you know, Luos didn't give him a lot of votes. I'm sorry, I've been working
no
with the
problem.
vote. Yeah. We didn't give the president votes. We gave him very little. Anasemanga ni tulimpea tu kama kapanya hivi kadogo tu. Yeah. And the president in Kisumu County, I come from Kisumu County, I vied for woman rep in Kisumu County and I was number 2. And is really supporting Nyanza as a whole, especially in Kisumu County and under the patronage of PS Dr. Raymond Omolo. We are getting a lot of young people empowered, and I am one of those people. And through his support, we get to empower a lot of other women and young women, especially young women in my community. And so I think the president has done a lot of work. Is delivering.
Yeah, but Valentine, you do understand that coming from Kisumu County and Luo Nyanza region by extension, it's not a privilege for you to get empowered or the region to get development projects. It's a right, you understand that, isn't it? Therefore, yes. It should not be about whether you voted for Jared to become the president or not, but Jared bears that responsibility to be your head of state, our head of state, and therefore it's not a privilege. It's your right, is it?
It is a right, and that is why, even though I did not win my elections back in 2022, I still also use my influence, my very good influence, to support other people. They did not vote for me, they voted for somebody else, Ruth Odinga. I did not win, but that does not bar me from helping them. I still have to use my influence to lobby for resources to ensure that I empower others. So it is our right as Kenyans to ensure that the president delivers. And that is why we have to ask the president. He's going to have, I think, a national address very soon.
On Thursday.
Yes. 20th. And I think that the president needs to also let us know what plans does he have for the country, what plans is he, what has he delivered, and we need to make him accountable. Accountability is a must for every citizen of this country.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Ongwaya.
I think I want to make this conversation issue-based. You know, we'll be lying to citizens here by telling them that given that the government has now moved from dollar to yuan, that the physical breathing space we have is going to help Kenyans. We are going to suffer 3 things, according to my analysis, because you see the yuan onshore, it is...
so yuan means you are talking about the Chinese currency?
Yes.
Okay.
It is increasing at a rate of 0.83, and offshore it is 1.21. Chinese government is trying to balance it with exports and import, you see? And if we continue into that pace, we have 3 things that we might suffer from: currency risk in reverse, in reserve management complexity, and dependency on China. You are also aware that countries that owe China have suffered. There's a time we had a discussion on the port, KICC. Why do we want to go that direction? Because we are being told that we are in a breathing space. Now, the problem that is facing Kenya is tax. And it is tax that is odious. For every 100 shillings that you give the government in terms of revenue, 70% goes to paying odious debt. We are supposed to, number one, and I call this the feast agenda. Number one, we are supposed to look at odious debt. It is something that is there. I take you back to Eurobond. 1 billion was taken to Qatar to a personalized account. Why is this? Why are the citizens...
When was that money transferred?
The Eurobond saga that we had. Just check at the files that the Auditor General has.
To whose account was it transferred?
When this cabinet secretary is from Rift Valley.
Henry Rotich?
Henry Rotich.
Let's just name him by his region, but let's name him by his name. Yeah.
That is how I remember him.
Yeah, because let's not profile people.
No problem. Now you see, during that time, 1.1 billion went to Qatar to a personalized account. It is something that they don't talk to. But the current president was in the same regime that the money was eaten.
So the point is then, Ongoya, as you make your point, to also hold you factually, as we proceed also to give the others the time, then if you cannot substantiate a claim that you have made, to whose account it ended up and by who...
Now let me continue by saying this, if
yes,
you don't want the facts. You see, what happens is, you see, for the tax, we have odious debt. For you to borrow money, and my friend Jared here is a lawyer, for government to borrow and pay money, it must be approved by parliament. My friend here is supporting UDA. I want you to ask him to tell you amount in percentage that UDA has taken in odious debt and the ones that have been approved by parliament. That is the problem. When we solve the problem of odious debt, we now remove Kenya from the abyss and we set Kenya on a level playing ground.
Okay.
And then number two,
yes, please.
And then number two, after we are done with that, if you are not paying the 70 shillings odious debt in every 100 shillings, then we are now at a breathing space of 2.3 trillion, which is going to financing debt. You now remove the 16% VAT.
It's 1.17 trillion, not 2.
With 1. I'll give you the math. It will work well. You'll see. With my 5 points.
We just did an analysis yesterday night. The amount that goes to wage bill plus servicing debt amounts to nearly 2 points you talked about. Not the 2 that will go to servicing the debt.
They borrow to pay. Do you know that works, Ayub? Have you looked at the amount that Kenya borrows to pay debt, to finance? Like the last financial year. But I'll work with you with your 1.7 so that you go and check the 2.3. Now we are removing 16% VAT tax and reducing it to 5%. I'm telling you how Kenyans will survive. You do not need to praise government when it's not working. You are now reducing the tax burden. We are now on a level playing ground. And we have now closed the hole that is there.
Okay.
With that, we can now access free healthcare, which can be financed at 200 billion.
Okay.
Free education can be financed at a tune of 300 billion. And then government, let me tell you why Kenyans are saying hakuna pesa hapa. Kenyans are the people who have money in these banks. But given that banks are willing and ready to lend to the government, Kenyans can access no capital. That is why we are, and as I finish in a nutshell, that is why we are sticking to a fallacy called hustler fund. And I say that because you cannot give a human being capital of 200. 200 cannot even buy you a handkerchief.
Point made. Yes, Ruth, and then I'll, in this order.
Thank you, Ayub. I want to just respond and react to some of the things that the fellow panelists have said. When we're talking about agriculture, and I think it was Jared, if I'm not wrong, who said that agriculture is working.
And also David.
And David. My question then becomes, what is the metrics that we are using to say that it is working? Because when we go around, again, like I said, when we're talking to young people and a manifestation asking them, why are you not getting involved into agriculture? And they were saying, this particular time, we had a lot of hopes, and we saw we were going to have subsidized fertilizer, but they're asking, what happens to the capital that we used, the time that we put in, the resources, the human resource that we put in before we had the scandal of the fake fertilizer? Yes, we were told we would be compensated, but that is a whole ball game altogether. We have seen an increase in maize production, but the question then becomes, why is the increased production not translating into lower food prices? Why is that not translating? When we keep on lauding and saying that the government is doing A, B, C, and D, but we are not seeing it translate into better cost of living. We are not seeing it translate into a stable food security. Then we need to ask questions. The president gave 13 promises. I give him a 23%. 13 promises when he was being inaugurated. I give him 23%. And my 23% comes from 3 things that he has done. 1 is the judges, and 2 is on affordable housing. 3 is a mix of Hustler Fund and Nyota, but that one has its issues, which I will not speak. That's why I give him a 23%. Now, that is below average. So we cannot sit here and say that the president is working. There are key issues he had mentioned. Look at pending bills. We've been seeing on social media there's a young man called Sami Kioko, whose life has turned upside down because of pending bills. Mm-hmm. We've seen a man who the other day committed suicide because of the KRA issue. These are the things that are touching on our day-to-day lives that we need to talk about. We are seeing SHA, we're told, SHA is one of the best things that has happened, that this government has brought. But we're not talking about the systemic failures that SHA has that are even worse than what NHIF had. So even as we are saying that it is working, can we substantiate that? And I'd like to urge my panelists, can we substantiate and say that this is working because of ABCD? I think we're using a lot of vagueness that we need to move away from. Finally, there is a word that is being loosely thrown around nowadays, empowerment. And I ask myself, what is empowerment? Because empowerment is not calling me to give me 6,000 shillings. Because if you give me that 6,000 shillings today, you don't give me a stable environment where my business can then thrive. What are you doing to me? If you're having and you're encouraging punitive bills that will then stifle not just my digital expression, but it will also stifle how my business is run, then what are you doing to me? So when we talk about empowerment, can we substantiate that on this panel?
Yes, Bila.
Yeah, for me, I think I'll give the government 36%. And I'll start with empowerment, as Bolo says. We are seeing every Saturday there is empowerment in different regions. It's failing us as Kenyans. People have gone to school. Like, I want to speak on behalf of the vulnerable people, the widows, the single mothers, the single dads. No one reaches them. When empowerment is done, like, for example, nationally, the CS will talk to the sitting sitting MP, who will talk to the MCA. The MCA will only reach a few groups that belongs to him, that voted him in. There are these other people who never voted for him. Like, for example, where I vote, I see how things are done. If you are not speaking the language of someone, you are not praising and worshiping, the empowerment will never reach you. I've been looking at the Nyota in Kakamega. There are some constituencies, I think very few people got that 22,000 that was given. Most of them applied. What happened on the application? They never got any feedback. You'll get in one constituency, one clan has 10 people, another clan has 0. Now, let me look at the church. Where has been this church coming to speak now? The church has also failed us. As Kenyans, we are watching this church. Now they are coming out. When we look at the time frame now, we have 1 year to campaigns, although campaigns are already on. The church needs to advise the government. They need to tell the government, this is wrong, this is right. Here you are trying, you are moderately doing it good, but the church is compromised. We look at the pulpit is misused. We saw what happened some days ago somewhere, until the church had to give a statement after the Gen Zs warned that pastor or bishop. It is not good. We are not doing well as a country.
Okay. Okay. Yes, Jared. David, I'll come to you, Jared.
Yes, Ayub. Like I said before, sometimes it seems like for you to measure progress, from what I've heard from my co-panelists, is the degree to which you can remember statistics, or the degree to which you can remember something that happened to you. But if we have to have an honest engagement, say, what does progress mean? And I started by encouraging our panelists, what does progress mean to you? If, for instance, I have people who did not have work before, and they have work. I know of several number of people who would have been doing something totally different that did not exist before. For them, that is tangible, measurable progress.
So specifically you're talking about?
I'm talking specifically, say, something like housing. Because all these people who are constructing and building those are not foreigners. They're people from here. They're the masons, the carpenters, the stone cutters, so the rest of the value chain. And I gave an example from where I come from. Where I come from is largely semi-arid. From the time God created this earth, we have never seen some roads which we are seeing now. Meaning, that region is primarily known for, can produce a variety of fruits, which would never have ordinarily reached the market in record time. Okay? So for me, who comes from that region, I can confidently say that I have seen measurable progress. Now, I also said before, some time back, never be so sure of what you want, you wouldn't take something better. We are suggesting to ourselves that the problems that have existed since colonial times can be fixed in record time. And the proper basis for measurement of rectifying those is systemic changes. Now, systemic changes don't come in snap of fingers because we have something called due process. Even when colonialists were stealing our land, they stole it with due process. And they did a fantastic job to even colonize our mind itself, so that it is always a conversation of us versus the other person. Never a collaboration of whatever is working can be improved, whatever has not been improved, we need to stick there and find solutions with the person in charge. Because the system of government of, for instance, suggesting that being in opposition is simply oppose, and don't participate, that system of government will collapse eventually. Because even our constitution, there is no language called opposition.
Okay.
In our entire constitution. It is a collaborative process in which you participate within the specific sector and space that you are.
And there is parliament to that effect.
And there is parliament to that effect. So, for instance, let me maybe tie that bow with the example I gave about devolution. Devolution has been an ongoing conversation. Now, for someone to tell us how has, say, the government achieved measurable results in devolution, the sore thumb sticking out, number one, is disbursement. How is the government allocating this money, right? And that has, as we can see for the past 3 years, has been on an upward trajectory, a trajectory of improvement, because you cannot do it on the snap of a finger. There must be systemic things that you must change. Okay. Procurement, a big thing that has challenged this country from time immemorial, from paper to e-digital, from the time where procurement was decided by one person, now it's an entire conversation about the ethos with the constitution. So I'm suggesting to everybody engaging this discussion, even as we look at the failures and we want to amplify them, no one is going to say a failure is not a failure. But someone who is putting structural changes that have effect.
And that's the president.
Not just him. You know, we target him because he's the most prominent person.
Not prominent, but also we gave him, the Kenyan people, symbolic power and some autonomy that other Kenyans won't. Therefore, which explains why he is our property as the citizens.
Sure thing. Yeah. I agree, it's a property.
Yeah. And here's my point.
He's not the only one in charge, right?
Yes, please, but has significant constitutional power that we gave him.
Yes.
You understand that, being an advocate of the High Court.
That's true.
And this is the point, that we cannot fix the problems of the past half a century in 2, 3, or 5 years.
Yes.
But he's the man at the helm. And we hold him accountable for anything that goes wrong, because he has ceased to be the private citizen who was born in Uasin Gishu. He's now our state property. And he appreciates that. And here's my question to you, Jared. And it needs bold decisions to move from one point to the other. The head of state has been consistent in taking Kenya from the current status to first world. But isn't it also irony, and here lies the dichotomy, that he has an affinity and love for incompetence, as he did with his first cabinet? Yes. And then how do we then move forward if such is his political conduct?
I do not speak for the man, but I can only tell you what I have observed. Anywhere in this world, we work with the people that we have. Because ascendancy to power requires certain considerations, certain parameters, and staying in power and achieving what you have is also necessary. Now, I empathize with the message that one person is responsible for the problems of the entire country. It's an attractive argument. Because in that same argument, we essentially delete the role of so many others who serve under him or who have mandate that we have given him. Because with the same problem, for instance, the problems that we have in county governments, any shortfall, it is a national government that plugs in. Whether they have deficit, whether they have shortfall, it does not matter. So if we say we have cabinet secretaries that are not doing well, cabinet secretaries say in charge of Ministry of Interior and National Coordination gives policy direction, does not direct the Inspector General of Police, does not direct the Director of Public Prosecution, and so many other security entities that are working under him. Mm-hmm. So that if we are saying a person is not doing well, yeah, what is their role in comparison to so many other people that they are working in? Because a cabinet secretary does not work alone. And you cannot live in a system where you say we have people who are operating at 100% premium. It is the nature of human beings that we are all imperfect. So that the only standard that we can agree on is movement.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course, we're all imperfect, but we can also get perfection. It's David's time. Yes, David.
Thank you.
Sorry for keeping you waiting.
I really wanted to say, maybe my fellow panelists, most of them, and maybe so many other Kenyans who have been tasked to speak about the negative side of the government, or of the delivery of the government, would like us to say, not to speak of maybe the government is delivering, and let us say the government has set proper structures to help us in a record time of probably 10 years, that is 2 term, to finish up with the issues of a whole half century into just 10 years and finish up with all these, you see, the problems we've been facing as a country. We can't sit down and say we had no food insecurity before William Ruto. We can't sit down and say we didn't have infrastructure before William Ruto. But what is he doing? What is he setting up to ensure that in the future, even after him, we'll not still come here and speak of we don't have infrastructure, we don't have affordable housing, we don't have this. Let us think in that criteria, and I invite Kenyans to think in that manner. What is the government? What is the president? What is that state property we are speaking about? What structures is he setting up to ensure after him, not during his tenure, after him, people will not still be invited on Citizen TV once again to discuss about very many things that we've been told. I guess we speak of affordable housing. Kibaki told us, Uhuru told us, William told us. Will it be again myself? I'll be vying very soon. Will I still speak and stand and tell young people and tell Kenyans I'll do affordable housing? No, it should be a story of we already have affordable housing. What do we need? We already have infrastructure. What do we need? What is now remaining? Not the same culture. Akitoka, Ayub, it's Wakili, it's my lady here. That conversation is what I don't love, and it is what we still keep on as Kenyans, keep on running around. I mean, if I'm to judge the president and what he promised the Kenyans through the better agenda, I would say he has done 60%. And maybe in the next 5 years again, he would have achieved the 40% remaining. What I see, or the challenge I see from me, Ayub, is more of straightening everything that he has now set in place. And if everything is straightened, everything is working now properly, because everything is working. It's just the 100% mark that has not been met. So if we meet the 100% mark, which is 40% away, the government would have delivered more than enough Actually, already they have delivered more than we or I imagined they would deliver when they were coming in. Look at all these funds for young people. Let us not speak of Nyota alone. We have Youth Enterprise Fund, we have the Hustler Fund, and so many other funds that young people can enjoy around to develop their MSMEs, to get jobs abroad, and all these things. My good friend has said something that we should not assume. Back before William Ruto and before affordable housing, around thousands of young people didn't have jobs. But today, despite the quality of the job, at least so many young people are working in the construction site. I mean, is that not better than being idle, Ayub?
Okay.
That is the conversation I would appreciate.
Yeah, but it's more important that in a democracy that we don't keep silent, we talk.
Ayub, before you give up,
yes,
allow me even talk to our bishops and our fellow young people.
Yes.
You know, Ayub, I was here some few weeks ago, and your friend and brother Trevor was surprised. Education is working, comrades are silent, and when education was not working, comrades were talking. So in a democracy, in a country like Kenya, where democracy only applies when things are not working, then I don't think it's fair.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, when things are working, we don't talk. We are very silent.
But it also depends on who talks.
I mean, we for the last few weeks I've seen so many people silent. So many people.
Okay.
Or do I have to mention that?
Yes,
Do I have to mention that Rigiji was silent so many long time? We were even looking for him.
Yeah. Okay. Valentine. I'll come to you, Ngoya. Allow Valentine. Yeah. Yes, please.
I would like to agree with some of my co-panelists and also disagree with some of them. And I will disagree on the fact that we are talking about empowerment. We are talking about things like, is the president delivering? Not even the president. We are talking about a government. Now, a government does not only consist of the president alone. We have governors, we have MPs, we have MCAs, we have people who are actually trying to keep the government in check, a lot of them. So we cannot only put all the blames just on the president alone. Can we talk about our governors? Can we talk about our senators, our MPs, and look at what each person is trying to do? Because if we put all the blame on the president alone, that does not make sense, because when they disburse those funds, the disbursement of funds, zinaenda kwa governor, kuna MP, there are so many people who are actually in charge of ensuring that we deliver to people. Now, can we talk about that? Let us not just be putting all the blames on one man who is trying to take care of a whole nation. It's very crazy. And even for him, I think the president is doing a very good job. And for me, if I want to rate him, I will give him 80%, sincerely, 80. And then, now let's check at our...
80% based on what accomplishments?
He has done a lot. We have affordable housing. We have so many things. And I actually love the fact that the president is actually also focusing on youth empowerment. He's really empowering a lot of youths. And, okay, I am a beneficiary, so don't judge me. He has empowered me a lot. And he has, through that empowerment that he's given me, I've also used it to empower other young people, a lot of them, in Kisumu County. Now, I would like to also agree with my friend here that, you know, like, the president has done a good job. I give him 80, and I repeat, 80,
only
80,
on
80.
two fronts?
Not on two fronts. Yeah. Front and center, everything. He's been doing a good job.
So you mentioned affordable housing?
Yes, youth empowerment.
Correct.
And you remember that the population in our country, 75% are youth. So if we do not empower the youth...
How many young people like you have benefited of the 75%?
So many. I work in Kisumu like every weekend. Empowering young people. I told you I have a foundation called Agal Toto. Agal is like a small girl and Toto is like a child in our language. And this foundation is clearly focusing on young people. And I've been working like that for like the past 2 years.
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah.
Yes,
youth empowerment.
You have been holding up. We go that way, yes, please.
I think the buck starts and stops with the president. And that is why you see us saying, the president has done, the president needs to do. When one break, I was talking to Bill and I was telling her, when a man is hitting on you, There are things they will tell you, oh, every 2 weeks I want us to go on a date. They will tell you, I am understanding, I am this, I am that. So when the relationship starts, you will judge that relationship based on what he has told you, not based on what you think a relationship is, right? And that is similar to what we are doing with the president. When he came, he said, I will do these 13 things. It is not us who said, it is the president who said, I will do 13 things. So we are basically saying, out of these things that you had said you will do, you have not done them. Out of the 13, 10 are still pending. And out of the 3 you have done, only 1 has been completed fully. And like I said, that's the one for the charges. These other 2 still have a lot of issues. So even as we are saying, and we keep saying he has done a lot of things, and I like when you asked, he has done a lot of things. For example, can we say that he has empowered people and now we have increased production, people are able to grow things and people are buying because they have purchasing power? That is not the case. Kenyans don't have purchasing power. When we talk about measurable programs, like Jared said, we need to say these measurable programs, which ones are they? Are we able to say that these are the beneficiaries that are there, and it has moved from A to B? Let's not also give blanket responses. Let's not be vague in terms of what he has done. One of the things we want to do is with Manifesto 2 is tracking promises and tracking manifestos that are given. Because these politicians will come and give us euphoric promises on the platform, and we don't have anyone who is tracking those promises. You come back later and ask them, you had said you would do these things, and they will tell you, oh, I came and found there were no funds. Or I came and found we have a huge debt. Or I came and realized these policies were not working. Things that you should ideally have addressed when giving us those promises. They should have been able to say, I am going to be able to attain these 13 things, and this is the how. The how in how they're going to attain it is missing. Valentine spoke about disbursement of funds to county government as the reason why we should also focus on county government. We've seen time and time again county government speaking and saying there is a delay in funds. We have to borrow money from the bank. We have to get an overdraft from the bank, which comes again with interest. We've seen at some point Waiguru was in a very difficult position because she is aligned to UDA, but also she has to speak on behalf of the colleagues and say, these are the problems that we are having. The last 2 as I close. Jobs. Someone spoke about jobs abroad. One of the things that the Kenya Kwanza government has successfully done is to remove middlemen. And what that does, when you remove those middlemen, they must look for corrupt ways to survive because they have children who they need to feed, and there are no jobs in this country. So they look for quick money. What should have been done instead, when we are talking about getting jobs abroad, is to align our policies, streamline them, and then streamline the process of onboarding these agencies that then look for those jobs outside in a bid to protect our people. I think for me that those should be.
Jared wanted to come back on Ongoya briefly, so we make quick points.
I'll be as quick as possible. Atwoli says, ningependa kujirefrain. And on the matter of empowerment, Ayub, I am giving you a solution. On the first agenda, there is something I'm telling you, that the government should not do domestic borrowing. We will do away with this fallacy called empowerment. What are you empowering people? My friend here is talking about jobs. Why are you not on Mjengo site? You are here on TV. But you are saying that Kenyans need it. Have you ever seen the president's son on Mjengo site? When we are talking about affordable housing, it should be that the people who are, the CBOs we have, are able to get the contracts there to supply. It is not what is happening. You hear senators saying that they get contracts if they support 2 terms. So let us stop this. Ayub, one other thing I want to tell you.
Yes, please.
If government does not borrow domestically, the banks will reduce the interest rate. The banks will go looking for citizens to lend them money,
hawking,
which will increase capital. An economist will tell you that that is what Kibaki did. And that's why the economy was thriving. You never heard people shout when he was there. People are now getting skinny in this government. People who are 80 kgs are now 40. Because of this, I'm telling you. Use that analogy and see. Even you, Ayub, if you do not take precaution, the difference between you and a toothpick will just be seen. And I want to say this, and I want to quote Heche, the member of parliament. He's a member of parliament in Tanzania. He says,
Chadema member.
Chadema member is the deputy chairperson. He says, anybody who parades himself like a hustler, give us statistics tell us, I came in when the hustlers were 3 million. I have this. Okay. You're telling us jobs abroad, yes. Brain drain, and we do not have paramedics in hospital. And let me finish by saying this. Julius Malema in South Africa says that the president, and in this case, the constitution gives the president of the Republic of Kenya power to either lead us astray or lead us to the right direction. Okay. Okay. This vehicle is being driven by a drunk man, and the tout does not know anything. He's just singing to tunes in the music, to tunes in this bus. Let us differentiate between politics and leadership. Okay. That is when we will grow as a country. Let us absorb these agendas I was telling you the feast. There are only 5, Ayub. And the next time you see me here, yes, I'll be a member of parliament telling you that Ayub, my constituency is doing well. Thank you. Yes, Jared, your hand was up. Bill, I'll come to you.
Yeah. Negativity or insult is not a measure of intelligence in any conversation. Or an intelligent way of conversing is, while you can agree on ideas, because I think it is clear there is, even if you give statistics, they are not believable. But if I am the one giving them, then they must be believed because it is me giving them. Like, you know, I've heard him say, when he was told the other statistics, he couldn't believe, but his is correct. Even when he was challenging you on something which I have seen you do several times, he's insisting, no, mine is 2 trillion, yours is wrong. And I encourage you, that is not how you transform your life, because the government does not solve your personal problems. The government gives you a platform on which to enter into personally and achieve your own personal goals. If you are talking about how people make money, people make money slowly with a vision. We have ridiculed and mocked this president because apparently he has a high vision. But talk to any rich person that you know. If you cannot see where you are going, that is your ceiling. In the spiritual world, it works the same way. As in the spiritual, it is in the natural. If you cannot think that far, then surely, no matter how high you go, you can never go higher than your concept of truth. Secondly, you can never engage with a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset is, there is no contest about the things which we can say have not gone well. My good friend here said there have been people registered on from NHIF to SHA. Yeah. And the conversation I usually have with people who are saying it is not working is, if you are saying 3 out of 10 is the problem, that is what we call in statistics outliers, because there cannot be a perfection of standard. If this one registered 7 million or 9 million, and this one has registered in excess of 20 million, there is surely a difference. Our teachers in this country just the other day, in the number of people which you are pulling, because insurance by in and by its nature is the more we are, the better we can get services from. So
the president has talked about 27 million?
The statistics are last met. That's why I've said in excess of 25 million.
Yeah, 27 million.
Yes.
But we only have between 4 to 6 million active contributors.
Even if you were to say that, yeah, we have a new injection of 20 billion because teachers are also moving from minutes to SHA. Because, like I said, the progress is not about the statistics that is not working. It is the ingrained foundation that we are setting, that as more people accept that this thing is going to work for us, the results will be trickling in, but they will be longer term. For instance, and I say this with a lot of reference for those who may disagree. No one who has seen good progress is sitting here to speak on behalf of government. But I, for instance, as a person who works in the justice sector or in the IT sector, because I do a lot of AI innovation work, I have seen that you can actually democratize knowledge. I do not have to have 30 years of experience to do the kind of work that, say, as a senior in my profession used to do. So I agree that the Gitume labs are working. For instance, the CDFs right now, for anyone to get a CDF allocation, you must show that you have an ICT hub. And I got to engage that personally with a member of parliament called Jalas because he was trying to explain what he has done in this conversation about computer misuse. Okay. So the issue is, in the corner that you are, if you as a citizen, you are listening to someone, this is my metrics of what is working. If you notice the people who disagree the most, they are probably vying for something. So those are not probably the best people you want to look at in terms of standard. Look at what is in it for me in the particular issue that you're facing. What's in it for me in a good road? What's in it for me when I have a good sector? What's in it for me if I have a good house? What's in it for me if I know that if I go access my house with my group of friends, which I already do, I have a loan on reducing balance, and I can actually engage in a business called flipping to get profit.
Thank you.
So please, as much as we disagree, I want for the citizens that are watching, if someone has already admitted they are vying, they are probably not the best source of information for what is not working.
Okay. Yes, Bilha.
Okay, thank you. My action point is there are grassroots women, there are mashinani women, there are mashinani youth groups, what have you. Can the president engage these people one-on-one and listen to them just to rectify what is happening? Like, for example, there are common faces that maybe visit State House. There are common faces that visit the county halls. Can we have new faces also expressing their views, giving new ideas, suggesting new things? Because when you look at the point of action, before we now look at, someone said two-term. What will two-term entail? Can we first rectify what is in the one term here? We still have problems to be taken care of. Thank you.
Yes, David, I earlier on cut you short here.
Thank you so much. I mean, she has said two term, and the first time I've already said we have 60%, so I don't know what she's asking about. Not unless she wants to prove her point is right more than mine. But, I mean, let us not run around the facts. I'm a boy from the village, a very small village in Taita Taveta County, a village that up to today has never seen a tarmac road, Kasigao. And we are hopeful. In this 40% that is remaining, the president has promised to bring a tarmac road to our very small
Why do you
village.
think for the past more than 60 years since independence, there were no roads there?
We actually didn't have a president who visited that area. But this president has made a point to go to the start of that very road. So when she's speaking of people, I am imagining who are these people who are going to State House. Yes, the president himself, he's just finishing a tour in Eastern Kenya. There is no State House. Those people have never been to the State House. Probably most of them don't even know how this city looks like. But the president has visited them there, has seen the challenges, has launched several projects, has opened several projects. And this is what we are asking Kenya. Let us shift from, and my good friend has said it very clear, because I've realized those who are planning to vie in the next regime are really not the right people to tell us what is not happening or what
that
is
includes
happening.
Valentine?
That includes him.
I'm personally not vying. As I
How
say,
about Valentine?
I mean, even her, she's favoring.
Is she a good source of information?
I don't think so. But I trust, I mean, I don't think so, because she's also vying.
Yeah.
She will protect the side she's vying from. But I trust the information she's giving.
More than Ongoya?
No, I don't trust
Ayub, let me say this. Let me say this.
Let me finish. Allow him to land. Allow him to land.
I don't think, you see, in as much as we are listening to everyone, and in as much as we are listening to those who are vying, I mean, Ayub, there are some people who are categorically, like Ongoya, lying to Kenyans. You can't stand on a national television like Citizen TV. You are not actually being watched by Kenyans alone. And you, not even opposing the government. It is okay in a democracy to oppose the government, but you can't start your speech by telling us the government has done nothing. I mean,
I haven't said that.
I would say a bad word, but I mean, let us look at it.
Ayub, 1 minute, let me say this.
1 minute each, starting with you.
Let me say
1
this.
minute strictly.
Do not misquote me for what I've not said. When the government works, I've said that I will appreciate, and I have appreciated like sports there somewhere they have worked, but in the same sports
Can
we have
you mention the
NIC.
somewhere
No,
so
just
that we
wait.
also take the
Absorb
credit?
content slowly. NYC is not working. There is 130 million that at times almost 50 million is being used for branding. We are not talking about that because you want me to support that, because the stadiums worked during Chan, everything is going well. To my friend Valentine, as a closing remark.
Yes, please.
You see this government you are supporting,
Yes.
it will harm you more than it
No,
will
it's-
harm me.
it's
And
helping a lot
let
of
me tell you
people.
something.
Yeah.
You're benefiting from Ray. I will not want to mention what happens to student leaders for them to support what government is doing for the benefit of doubt.
Raymond
That's-
Omolo is
that's
a very
that's
good
missing
leader.
The point. Okay.
And then,
yeah.
as a closing remark,
Yes, that's-
each citizen, look at statistics. If our statistics favors you, and we are telling you that when the government does this, it will benefit you in this way. If it fails to do this, it will also benefit you in this way. If you borrow the idea, it is well and good you can join our ship. But if you want to stay with the government because of a suit and gooding, we also do suits.
Thank you. Yes, Valentine.
Let me laugh first because I have statistics of Raymond Omolo because, you know, he's trying to, I don't know, do what. Raymond Omolo has done a lot of things. He's really empowering Nyanza. You don't know that?
For example.
He's an alumni of
For
our school,
example,
I
I
know
work for him and I have empowered over 20,000 women and young people in Kisumu County alone. For real.
You work for
And then, yes.
him. You are guarding your salary.
Yes, please, just finish up, yeah.
And that is a form of youth empowerment. If he pays me to work for him, that is youth empowerment. What are we talking about? We are talking about job opportunities. So if I have a job from the government, that in itself alone is youth empowerment. Are you listening? So, and the president is also, you know, through Raymond Omolo, I am also working for the president, which is a very nice thing. And the president has really done a lot of work in community-led development. I think he really does a good work,
Okay.
and you will not convince me to stop supporting the president, because I think that through his leadership, he has taught me that if the citizens work with the leadership, not just even national leadership. I also work with Professor Tom Ojienda, our senator of Kisumu County. He also funds my foundation, which empowers a lot of people.
Point made. Yes, Ruth.
I think in my 1 minute, I'd like to just agree with what Bila is saying. Let's have conversations with people. When we have rallies, it's them talking to us, or actually it's them talking at us. We don't get to engage. What we're doing with Manifesto 2 is every single day we are talking to a minimum of 40 youth. I mean, that is what we can manage as at now. But we're able to really get to the depth of what are they feeling. They are the ones being called for these empowerment programs. They are the ones who are being used every time in campaign promises. What are they feeling? What do they want removed? NYC is something that has come up severally. People are saying the National Youth Council is not working for us. It's not speaking on our behalf. We can't feel it. We've had... with the different cabinet reshuffle that is happening, we've had promises of the election, but every time it's changed, we have those excuses. So I think for us it's just to continue urging the government to actually listen to people. Don't talk at us, listen to us. We are going to be tracking some of the promises that have been made, not just by the government, but also by the legislators, because a lot of them demand policy change. We don't want a situation where someone says, Mimi siko gava, muku nichagua siwezi fanya.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Bila.
Yeah, thank you, Ayub, for actually hosting me. And I look forward to more hosts because I'm speaking for the grassroots woman who cannot be heard. I'm speaking for the voiceless widows out here, voiceless single moms and dads. They have points to put across, but they have no platform. Thank you.
Yes, Jared.
Anyone who has an honest belief in his own ideology, I encourage you that no matter the rage or the bitterness that you experience, when you task someone to the disagreeable task of reevaluating their own assumption, take that stand and take it alone. Any information that you consume, go and investigate it. Any task that you consume, make sure it applies to you. What's in it for me is a conversation that I want to encourage every single young person to do, because we may not agree on the statistics, we may not agree on the progress, but if something good has happened to you, maximize it to your benefit. Don't let nobody tell you that you cannot celebrate success because it will injure someone else's feelings.
Yes, David.
Let your haters be your motivators.
Thank you so much. Maybe just to urge Kenyans not to listen to fake statistics from Mongoya, they better listen to Ayub's statistics. And above all, the foundation has been set after 10 years. Maybe in 2032, allow me, Ongoya, to be your president, so that people like him should not get this country. They should not get that state.
So you are confirming that you are vying,
yes,
and you are selling fake, and you are selling fake statistics.
Thank you.
Yes.
So let's sample the feedback, ladies and gentlemen. The hashtag on X is Citizen Daybreak. The SMS code is 22422 at Citizen TV Kenya and at Ayub Abdikadir. Here is what you're saying on X, formerly Twitter, and to sample some a few. Bobo Tieno says the government hasn't delivered anything. The only thing they delivered is broad-based government. Everything is falling apart, leading to scathing attacks from men of clothes of our churches. Babu Michael says it has reached a point in Kenya where any elected president must give his or her priority on the economy. If all these narratives of Kenya is a construction site going on, no one differs, but all efforts should result to a better economy. Leonard says, if we had a functioning government, we would have more teachers employed than what the Kenya Kwanza government is praising itself for. The education sector would not be in limbo. We will have a health sector that actually works. Mothers would not be crying in maternity wards. Affordable houses will truly be affordable. Okello says the government has not done enough to uplift the living standards of the youth. There is a significant gap between KK's campaign promises and what has been delivered so far. It's important for the youth to come together and raise their concerns so the government can better prioritize the issues that affect them. Sanik Sondagure says, I wish all the youths who are highly intellectual, who are sharp in factually unearthing atrocities could bring out in the open what's going on so that the public will eventually have a legit yardstick for electing moral leaders. It's 7:01. Many thanks for your time. Jared, thank you. Appreciated. Bila, thank you. Ruth, asante. Valentine, thank you so much. David, thank you. Ongoya, thank you so much. Appreciated. Many thanks for waking up with us throughout the week and here on the broadcast this Friday. Asante sana for sending in your comments here on Daybreak. We'll see you next week on Tuesday. Till then, and after this will be entertainment. Good morning.